What's up?
Let me do this again. All right, what's up? Here we are, another week on the Celestial Show, and today we're joined by the wonderful Lee.
Hi. Hi.
And that dude, like, it's so funny to me because, like,
Yeah.
usually when someone comes on, I've like at least had a conversation with them in the past. I'm not sure if anyone else has come on where I like literally don't think I've met them, but all I know
Now we're friends.
Yeah, no, we're great friends.
Yeah.
Automatically, you're a friend
Yeah.
of Flo, you're a friend of mine.
I love it.
Yeah. But literally, all I know about you is that your name, and you and Flo had some interesting conversations.
Yeah.
And Flo thought it'd be a good idea to have you on.
We literally met up yesterday, and he was like, "Come on this podcast."
Yeah. I think it's gonna be great. Did I send you his music?
No, I had
man.
nothing. Yeah, I would have loved to.
No,
listen
that's
to
great. It's a great start.
It's a good start. But his music is amazing, and he
Thanks,
has like a
Flo.
lot of new stuff on the way,
Thank
Yeah?
you, my
which
friend.
is exciting.
Very exciting.
What kind of music you playing? I love that question.
I love that question too. It's like pop soul, neo soul, in the soul space.
That's beautiful.
yeah.
You sing?
I do sing. Yep.
That's
Very
amazing.
singing heavy music.
That's
I would
good.
Say. Yeah.
Do you
Like-
use a lot of like backups and stuff in production, like bigger production, or is it more intimate?
I'd say in terms of production, we usually lean like organic.
Nice.
And lots of background vocals, some runs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
we try to keep it focused on just like having a good song at the core and then add the vocals and all the other sauce. But like, I feel like it's not too production heavy.
That's
usually.
good. Was it hard for you to find that balance ever?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I studied classical voice
Okay.
in college, so I feel like when I left college, I would try to do like production heavy music, like stuff with some beats and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just did not work with my voice at all. Like I was like singing too loudly and like I couldn't like figure out how to flow with the beat and like a pocket and things like that. So we just like over time put ourselves in positions where it was like organic type of production that feels a little closer to like what's home to me, which is like me singing with the piano or like with some
Yeah.
strings and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I feel like that's something everybody is faced with at some point is like you want to like just go for the most insane production, insane like
Yeah.
experimental.
But it doesn't work for every sound. Like it doesn't work for
No.
every voice. Like,
It's actually kind of funny because I used to, and everyone who's heard me say this a million times, I apologize, but like I used to make folk music. I still do, but I don't record as much.
Okay.
And my voice like sat really well into folk music. It was very easy for me. I never thought about like doubling really. I liked some backups, but like just vocals and guitar, I feel like I just from practicing that way, like kind of trained myself to sing
Makes
to
sense.
that. And it like the first step I remember recording like in a studio. So I'd record the guitar and then I'd record my vocals. And I had such a hard time even with that because I relied on all like it's almost like the vibration of the acoustic or just like that feeling of having that instrument there and actually playing it.
Right.
But I couldn't play in perfect time while singing and to make it like what we wanted.
Recording is like tough.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I much prefer live singing. Like if I'm on the stage, that's way better for me. Like it's been a long, adjustment to singing in the studio.
Yeah. I think, did you grow up singing?
I did, yeah. But I like grew up just strictly stage stuff. So like musical theater and opera pretty much.
Opera.
Yeah, that was my major in college. It was 5 years of studying that and like pursuing that. And I had been doing it in high school too and like all other stuff. So even the idea of like making my own music in general to this day is still kind of like, I'm like, oh, that's not what I set out to do when I was doing music back then. So being in the studio is like, it still feels quite foreign to what I'm used to and what like is natural to me. Like anytime I'm like, oh, I get to do a show, I'm like, this is like way easier than, going in the studio and like singing with the click and,
That's
like all that
fucking
stuff. I'm
hard.
like, this is like really difficult. And like singing on a mic in the studio is just so different than singing live. Like it's like, you can manipulate your voice more and like do a lot more with it in a confined space. That's very difficult for me because I'm so used to not even being able to sing with a mic.
Yeah.
So,
That's another thing too. Yeah, once you hear yourself on mic too, and when you first started singing, were headphones a problem for you? Like in
yeah,
studio?
I mean, it was just weird. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, how the producers would be like, you need to like, why are you singing so loud? Like, all I know how to do is sing at full voice, you know? Like, that's what we're supposed to do. And it's taken like a really long time to start to understand just the differences between those two spaces, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to the studio tomorrow with my buddy Romeo, and every time I go in, he's like, you don't have to sing all the time. He was like, you can pull back.
I see, yeah.
And like relax. He was like, when you're not singing, that's when you get the best part of your voice. So just an ongoing journey of learning how to sing with mics in the studio versus like live stuff.
Well, in opera, are you doing a lot of dynamic changes throughout when it comes to like volume, or you have your role and that's your piece, and you're going to be either really loud or you're going to be like
let me say also, I haven't done opera officially in quite a while. It's been like, I don't know, 5 or more years.
Bro, that doesn't discredit anything. You sang opera.
I appreciate it. No, I mean, when we were doing that, that and like art song, right? Like, it's, it was important to pay attention to like the dynamics that were on the sheet music. Like the composer kind of dictates what you do in some of those things. Like, I'm not singing my own music when I'm doing that. Like, I'm singing somebody else's music that's been performed for like 200 years, right? So you kind of follow, like, it says like pianissimo and forte and stuff throughout it. You need to learn the music and follow it. So there's certain times where I would sing softer, but I'm still singing softer without a mic. And you still need to be able to, like, the audience still needs to hear you sing pianissimo. You're just doing it without a mic. So you have to fill the auditorium on your own.
Yep.
It's just like a whole different...
Was that like
singing.
something you found interesting from a young age, or did like your parents or a friend or someone kind of push you into it? Someone like see you and was like, listen, you'd be perfect for this, like as like a movie scene or something?
They made us sing something in middle school, and it just ended up being the only thing I was good at. So cool. I just like, my parents encouraged me, and like, they were like, oh wow, like we found something that you can do. And then we just kept doing it, and like I started competing in it in high school and like doing summer programs in it. And then that was my focus in high school. I went to LACHSA, which is the arts high school in LA.
Wow.
So I focused on that there. And then I got a scholarship to go to school for it. And then in school, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I just was like, let me get this degree, and then it's probably a wrap.
So then you graduate and you're like, I want to make my own music, or how did that happen?
I just stopped singing for a little bit. I was like, I'm burnt out. There were only 7 people in my class, something like that, in college. So it was competitive and like kind of tiring at times. And I just like graduated and was like, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to do that anymore.
That's cool. That's cool. That has to be a little anxiety inducing.
Oh, I completely fell apart.
Yeah. I'm sorry to laugh, but it's just something I think a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
At some stage in your life, you dedicate so much of it to one thing, and then you realize, like, ooh, I need to pivot really hard right now. Because I studied engineering in college, like biomedical engineering, which like was great for me because I learned so much about discipline and like really how to force myself to do things.
Yep.
And I took pride in it. Like it's like anything, right? Like I'm sure at some point you were sick of maybe like sick of singing opera, or maybe just like the certain vibes of it were starting to get at you, but you probably still took pride in what you're able to accomplish.
Yeah.
And then after school, I remember working as an actual engineer at a company, and like my first week, I remember just being like, no way. Like I worked so hard for this.
Yeah.
Like, not that I didn't appreciate it, but I was just
That's
like,
the dream.
this is fucked up.
Like once you start living it, it's like either you love it or you kind of don't. I think with like, I don't know, things like engineering or like opera, these very like specific paths, there's not really any room to not have immense passion for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things where it's like you have to give it your all and you have to be in it. And if you're not, you will not get far along in it. That's how I felt with opera. Like, there was a clear difference between me and some of my classmates. Like, I was like, I don't have the passion to fuel the work ethic to get this done.
How long did you fight that, do you think? Was it like year one, or were you like towards the end, like realizing that? Because that's a very interesting, introspective, like...
Yeah, I think it was like towards the end of maybe mid-sophomore year.
Ooh, that's early.
Yeah, and I was just like, but my scholarship was tied to it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to... And I was in Ohio, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part of Ohio?
In Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincy's a cool spot. I
Great
think.
city. Yeah.
I
I love Cincinnati. I mean, I had like a love-hate relationship with it when I was there. But, you know, I was like, I'm doing this, and I'm in Ohio, and I'm going to finish. And then I went back home afterward. And that was kind of it.
Wow. It's a cool adventure. And I'm sure you got a lot out of it. And as you realize through life, like, same thing for me with engineering. It's like, my biggest takeaway was like, well, I need to know how to, like, I need to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, I can't just sit at a desk and, like, work. Like, even you, Flo, like, you do a lot of engineering for music and production, and a lot of that requires alone time in the studio. And you've built up that muscle in your brain to just sit there. Maybe you love it, but I think you're a very outgoing person, so it's something that, like...
But I also love it.
Yeah.
I kind of love, like, a good... Because I don't... I mean, it's going to sound so, like... weird psychologically, but I don't really feel alone when I'm with a track. It feels like, you know, I can hear, like, if there were players playing, I can hear them. It feels like, okay, like, I'm alone, but kind of not. You know, like, I have things to do, and it's good. Like, I honestly sometimes enjoy it more. Like, for example, when I'm mixing, there's some times where I'm like the artist wants to come in and stuff, especially early on in the process. I'm like, dude, I would be so much more efficient alone, like, right now. Because there's like
real.
a lot of stuff that, like, what are you gonna do, like, watching me trim every audio file and like clean up clicks and like, you know what I mean?
As an artist though, who doesn't, like, I have like a D- in mixing, I would say. Like, sometimes I'll get lucky and pull out something and it sounds okay.
But everyone has an F in mixing.
I was going to say, D- is a little better than an F.
Yeah,
So.
maybe I'm giving myself too much credit then.
No. But I think everyone has an A and everyone has an F in mixing. It's like the only way to gauge if it actually worked is, like, did I achieve the sound that I wanted? Because, you know, like...
That's real. Yeah, that makes
there's
sense.
some of my favorite tracks, even, like, recorded in the modern era, like, where they could be extremely hi-fi, extremely clean. But actually, it... You know, like, I love, for example, like, fucked up sounds.
Me too.
It's so fascinating. It's so much more interesting, you know, like...
It's also more like... I think we're able to connect to it a lot more.
Yeah, of course,
personally.
because humans are fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the ones that I know, like, in some shape or form, they're fucked up. You know, like...
Across the board.
Yeah.
In some way.
If you think someone's not, they got a deep, dark secret, I feel like.
They're like,
Man, I have this
Patrick
friend.
Bateman or something.
It's so funny. I'm pretty sure he will not listen to this, but I'm not going to name him. No, but it was, like, really fun because this guy to me was always... I think he has, like, similar personality to me, like, very loud, very, like, talkative, very happy, always smiling. And then one day my girlfriend, EJ, met him. And, you know, we had, like, a good time. It's, like, nice dinner, nice chat. And then we leave and we're on the subway home. And she's like, why is he so depressed? I was like, the fuck do you mean? This guy, like, spends his entire day laughing.
Saw right through it.
And she was like, no, he's, like, so depressed. Like, people who smile that much, something is wrong with them. And I was like, damn. And then I started paying attention.
You
and
say
I was
he's
like,
sad.
He's actually deeply sad.
Oh.
You
Wow.
know? Now he's much better. Now he's
That's
much
good.
better.
Okay, so he bounced back.
No, he bounced back.
Okay,
But
good.
I was like, damn, silly me. What a bad friend. I didn't even realize that.
Sometimes it's hard to see that stuff, though.
I feel like the older I've gotten, I've, like, trusted that, like, instinct more, though. And there's some people when I'm around them, like, I cannot be around them. And it's not obvious. Like, there's just a vibe. It's just, like, an energy thing where, like, the way they are. I remember one time I had to get a car rental. I forget how it worked, but somehow I needed a ride home from the guy at the car rental place. And as soon as I got in the car with him, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of this car. Like, I feel like this dude's about to
Damn.
murder
Yeah,
somebody.
trust your gut with that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But that was like, and I had to go home and shower. And this
Yeah.
guy did nothing wrong. He was not like
What's
saying
the
it.
energy can just be like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we've all had friends that are like, kind of like energy vampires in some way.
Yep.
Explain that.
Yep.
Well, I watched. So one of my favorite shows is What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
And it's about vampires. It's like a mockumentary sort of thing. But one of the
Nice.
characters is an energy vampire. He doesn't like drink your blood or anything, but like he'll drain your energy.
That's scary though, because that's like,
And I'm like, that's the scariest part of the show to me. I mean, it's a funny show. It's a comedy, but like, I'm like, oh, we all know that person for sure.
oh my God, yeah, there are people I'm around and I can't be around them too long.
No.
And that scares me too, because I'm just like, damn, like I don't want this to affect me, but I can't not.
But it does.
Yeah. I think some people are really good at just shutting that off. They just bulldoze through life.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. I'm
You
like,
gotta
even
protect
places.
your space and your peace a bit, the best
dude.
that you can.
Like today, I went to Brentwood. Dude, you are gonna relate to me somehow in this story. I got like raked over the coals today at a doctor's office.
Sounds like a good Monday.
Brother. No, so I went to Brentwood, which is a nice area. But like the office I went into had that kind of feeling. I was like, fuck this place. Like this is so weird. And the doctor is a dermatologist. Because like I was just thinking, I have good insurance. Like I'm going to go to a dermatologist and just get like,
why the hell not?
yo, am I going to lose my hair one day? Like what can I do for my skin? Like just like generic shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I let her talk me into all these things. And she talked so fast. And she was like wearing a mask, and she's just like, I'm almost 50. I don't look it. I don't think so. And I was like looking at her, I was like, you look 100%. Like
You look 100 years old, actually.
yeah. And they were trying to get me on all these things like PRP for like my scalp.
What is
like,
PRP?
It's like platelet-rich plasma. They like suck it out of your blood, and they like spin it. And I'm just like, I was just asking her, I was like, am I losing hair? Like I can't tell. I just want to know if in 5 years I'm going to lose my hair. And she's like, well, you're asking me. And I was just like, I thought you could tell. I don't think I'm losing my hair, but I just like, let me just ask a doctor. Like I have free time because I have insurance. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, bro. At the end of the day, they have like all these products, and none of it has to do with hair. It's all like skin stuff. And they're like, we recommend this, and I'm like, okay. It's like for scars and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, well, I'll give it a shot, dude. They get me to the counter, $630.
Yep. Classic.
I was like, wait, does my insurance cover any of this?
Was that just to be there or for the stuff?
No, for the shit they wanted to sell me.
Oh,
and it was like going to a super
I guess
expensive
it's
Sephora.
It's probably not covered.
No,
Yeah.
and
No,
that's
it's not. Yeah.
But that was my thought going in. It's
Yeah.
like glasses or something. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll get some good shit instead of going to Sephora
Yeah.
and like spending $250, $300,
Right.
you know, to look pretty.
No, sir.
No, yeah.
They told you that you were losing your hair, so they could
No.
get the money.
They were real nice about the hair thing. They were like, no, you're not losing your hair.
They
I was
said
like,
you're going bald, so we're going to charge you $600 so you can not do that.
They talked about this stuff for like lasering my skin and stuff in my face. I was like, yeah, but I've never had like bad acne in my face. They're like, yeah. It's just an option. These were salespeople. This was not a doctor.
That's the medical industry.
100%. Unless my leg is falling off, I'm not going to a doctor.
Let's make some money off these people.
She had her own brand and
Yeah.
everything. I'm not going to shout this
course.
lady out because she has way more money than I do. Dude, she's like an office in Malibu and an office in Brentwood.
This is the one that says she looks 50 but looks 70?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
she's got some battles to
Not,
fight.
Yeah.
Bro, she did take her mask off. She did look a little younger
Yeah.
under the mask, but like you could tell it was just like surgery. Like I was like, and everyone in the office, all the girls working there were babes. They were like half her age. And I was just like, what kind of fucking place is this? And I got
Whatever
out of
makes
there.
you happy.
Yeah, I got out of there, and that that energy though. I just like walked around Brentwood. I was like, grabbed some lunch. I was like, ugh, like damn, like I feel fucking weird after that. I thought I'd leave feeling more confident and like with the program. I left with like I did
More
buy like $200
More
worth of
questions.
shit. I was like, I'll take the vitamin C. I guess that's the cheapest one. It was pretty funny. They want to see me again in 2 weeks. I'm like, why? Why? Like this is fun. Anyways, not a super fucking random tangent. But yeah, dude, energy. And that's one thing actually, to bring it back to music, that's why I love working with Flo so much, is because like it's actually shocking to me with as much time as you spent in that studio, you know, because you've had probably good days there, bad days there, whatever. But like whenever I go in that studio and you and I are going to work on something, it's always good energy. And I think that's worth more than anything when you're going to work with someone to make some music. It's just like the vibe they give you, and like, do they motivate you? Are you excited to hear
The
this?
vibe
Do they
is
get
very
excited?
important. I mean, it makes it extremely difficult to make a song, even if it's good or bad, like to even finish it, if the vibe is just off in the room. Like if you can't connect to the person, or like it feels really cold, like you can't even finish the song most of the time.
Yeah.
You know? So I agree. And it is a lot of fun working with you. It's very, you know.
Thank you.
He like
It's
tells
very
it,
light in the room,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel that. That's why I feel like I prefer working with people that I'm friends with at this point.
Mhm.
Like I was telling you yesterday about one of those producers that I had worked with in the past, like out of the US, and like, you know, different generation, but also like, you know, it was one of those things where like, we're going to pay all this money and work with this producer. And then the vibe was just off a little bit, you know, that sort of thing.
Did you set that up? Like, was it your ambition that got you to work with this specific person because of their accolades? And you thought like, oh, this will make a great product because of their experience and everything?
Yeah. So like, I wanted to work with him because he worked on one of my favorite songs ever.
Oh, yeah.
Massive song. This was when I was signed to this label, Bright Antenna.
Oh.
It was like right when I had signed to them. Flew me to London.
Holy fuck.
I did that for like 2-3 weeks, London and Manchester. Worked with this producer. And it just like went completely different than I expected, which I was naive going into it. You know, I was like, oh, I just got signed. Like,
That's a big
on my
deal.
first project.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, this is crazy. I don't know how this happened. The way it happened was insane too. But like, I just was like, let's see how this goes. And I got there and I was like, oh, I think I was in over my head, and like, I should have just finished this song with the person that I started it with. You know? So we ended up spending all this money, and like, the song, when it came back, it wasn't like super great. And he's like a cool dude and stuff, but I think I just like should have been like, I can take this to my buddies and get it to where I want it to be, rather than like trying to go with somebody else's sound.
Did the label push you in that direction to work with this person? Or was it like a conversation you had where they were like, oh, we could set that up for you?
I just like was like, oh, I really love this other song, and it inspired me to write this song. And they're like, we should set you up with that person. I was like, okay, cool.
I would have done that.
Yeah, and then it just progressed quickly, and they were like, okay, so we want you to go to London in November, and we're gonna fly you out, and we're gonna do this. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I don't think I had been to London at that point, and I had been dying to go like my entire life.
Of course, dude.
So I just went by myself, and like, we just made these songs off of these demos that I did.
Can I ask a question about like how that works? So
Yeah.
they're going to send you there for, you said 3 weeks?
I think I was there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. And was that schedule set prior? Like, is this person booked just for you? Like, how much free time do you have? Like,
Just booked for me. Like, we had like a rehearsal with the band.
does the label provide the band as well, or is that the producer?
The producer
Like,
provided the band, and like the label will pay for the producer and the band, all that stuff. Pay the whole fee. They put me up in an Airbnb, and they were like, I remember when I was going, they were like, do you want to fly business? And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, put me in coach because I don't want to owe you more money.
yeah.
I was like, put me in coach. Like, I did not need to be in business class. So I was like, absolutely not. Like, put me in coach. Do not put me in a nice hotel. I was like, I will pick an Airbnb, and I picked one. Picked it. It was in a nice neighborhood, Primrose Hill. But I just went there for that. I took some meetings with some managers when I was there. They hired a photographer in the studio. It was just like all this stuff. And I was like,
It's like a dream come true.
it was
though.
cool, but I
Yeah.
think I was too young to really utilize it the way that I was supposed to. Like, I just was too green into the label world. Like,
But wouldn't you think they would? I would hope that they would recognize that a little bit, and maybe like, is there like a counselor, like manager type person who's like, because you're an asset, right? Like, so if you work for any company,
yeah.
you know, you have a manager, maybe you have like a mentor, you have like structures in place to ensure that you're successful,
Right.
and this is a good fit. Like, whenever I interview for a job, like, it's usually not like, am I qualified? I'm not like concerned about that unless
Yeah.
it's music. But like in my like day job, it's
Yeah.
like, is this the right fit for me? And
Yeah.
are we going to be successful? Is there a lot of that goes on? Or is it like, we're picking this kid up because we think he can be this, and we're going to help morph him into that?
I think for me, it was more of that. Like, I came into it without a manager, and I didn't have a manager for most of my time there. And then also, like, I had gotten an attorney for the purpose of getting the deal figured out with the label. So, like, I just came into it being like, I had my corporate shit at the same time. Like, I was working at Vans at the time, like their headquarters in Costa Mesa.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I got signed when I was there. And I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Were you able to quit? Like, was it enough like money to be able to like live off of with the label?
No, it was like, I think if it had progressed, I could have probably quit. But like, it wasn't enough for that. But it was like, I was like, no, I want both.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, America's expensive. I live in LA, you know.
I think a lot of musicians like can benefit from that attitude though.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard. Like, I mean, after Vans, I went to work for Spotify.
Yeah.
And I was on their artist and label relations team, and it was very hard to work on my stuff and work 9 to 6 or whatever I did over there. Like, you know, these music business jobs are equally as demanding. So,
of course,
it was just very difficult.
Dude, we have so much I actually want to dive into. But
no, we can.
The first thing I want to ask is, how did you get signed? Like, what's that like path?
Yeah, this was in the pandemic, maybe like this 2021, I think, is when it started to happen. I was just like writing songs in 2020, 2019 for the first time ever, really, and figuring out what that looked like and what that sounded like for me. And then I started using my the money from my jobs to pay for studio time and like to pay for these producer fees. So I would take the demos that I did at home on the piano or with a buddy. We'd go to the producer, get it done, and then I started to see these people on Instagram being like, "Hey, submit your song and we'll review it. There might be some A&Rs on here or something like that." So it was called Before the Data. I think that's what the Instagram channel was called. And I just was like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to upload a song.
That's sick.
And they didn't listen the first time. And I was like, okay. So then I uploaded another one. It was the demo of my song Rockabye. And all these people were on there listening, and I didn't even know. And then they listened to it, and they were like, whoever song this is already really good, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is encouraging. I was like, let me just go back and make more. And then I started getting all these DMs from like the label that I had signed to and like a few other ones. And they were like, who are you with? And like, who's your manager? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm just working. Like, I don't have. I was like, I just moved out of my parents' house. Like, I was like, I don't have any of that stuff. And then before I knew it, they like flew me out to San Francisco, and they were like taking me to dinners and lunches out here, and like telling me, like, asking me what I wanted to do and like where I want to be in 5 years and where they see me and all that stuff. And I was like, whoa, this happened really quickly and unexpectedly. Like, I just was trying to get feedback on my demos.
Yeah.
I was just going to release it through like CD Baby and stuff like that at some point. And then all of this happened. And I was like, oh shit. Like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. And throughout that whole process of being with them, I just learned a lot about, you know, what it's like to be with the label and like what sort of expectations are there.
Real quick before we get into that. So you get flown out to San Francisco. Of the labels you talked to, what made you decide to go with the one that you actually went with?
I mean, they were smaller. They had a lot of money, which was also a part of a deciding factor.
I can imagine,
And, you know, they just were like, we believe in the artist's vision. Like, we're not, you know, like, we just love your voice, and like, we think that there's a lot of places we can take it and stuff like that.
Oh, that's gotta be the best feeling in the world.
Yeah,
Holy
it
shit.
was, especially after like quitting opera and like damn near quitting music. I was like, oh, this is like the confidence boost that I needed to get back into it, basically. So they like wined and dined me, did all that stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I liked the people. Like, they were really nice, and like they were very close to each other. So I was like, okay, this is not like a machine like a lot of the majors. But and I enjoyed my experience there overall. Like, I don't regret it at all. But, you know, a label is a label.
How did they structure it like, because this is what I think a lot of people are really curious about.
Yeah.
Because you hear all these nightmare stories, and it seems like you're doing good now, which is awesome. But so, like, when they sign you, is it 100% alone, or is it like we're gonna? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, you are expected to recoup like everything that they invest. That includes your advance. That's like marketing support.
Did they give you a marketing team at all, or like an individual to support that? Okay, yeah.
And they gave me a little budget there, a recording budget as well. The recording budget was also an interesting process because I'm like, most of the songs on my EP were existing demos. So I didn't really, looking back, I'm like, I did not need to go re-record some of this stuff and whatnot, like that sort of thing. But everything that they invest in you, you're expected to recoup, which is difficult.
Is it scary to keep you up at night at all, or?
I think when I was there, I was just riding the high and not thinking about it.
That's good. I think that's much better because, like, I think the older you get, like if I saw a number and say it's like 6 figures, close to 6 figures even, and it's like, yeah, this is what we're investing in you, and this is how you'll pay it back. Like, there's a structure to that as well because, like, I imagine some of the money maybe comes to you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, then I really need to make, say it costs me, I can get by making X amount of dollars per year in my current lifestyle. Okay, I need to make that, however.
Yeah.
And then I also need to pay this back and then be able to continue to the next project. Because if this project doesn't go well, how am I going to convince them that I'm capable? Like, a lot would come to mind, I think.
I mean, there's a lot of things to be anxious about with it, for sure. You know, and then especially if they like pick you back up, you're just further and further into debt. You know, so it's tough. But like for me, I had half my masters, so like it's 50-50 there. They didn't own any of my publishing or anything like that.
Oh,
like
really cool.
Yeah, so it was like that's why I liked them as well. It was like the deal structures that they set up are like they're pretty favorable to artists compared to most labels.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. But like it is a business at the end of the day.
Yep.
And like if you know, and in my case, like coming into it so green as an artist, if you can't, you know, present like a profit for them off of your music and stuff like that, like then it's hard to see the longer picture, you know?
Mm-hmm. Did they talk to you ever about touring and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to get an agent at the show. I mean, we had agents come to the shows and they were interested, but like everybody was like, it's too early. It's just a little too early. That whole thing with music. I think if like I had like a big, somewhat viral moment, it wouldn't have been too early. Like anything like that. Even if it was like a little one, it wouldn't have been too early.
Yeah.
But we definitely talked about touring. And I had my first show ever as Lee Lewis under them, like when I was signed to them. So there was like a progression of growth there as well as like a live performer. And they were like, we need to get you an agent. We need to get you one. I was like, I'm trying. But like, if it's too early, what do you want me to do? Like some of it is out of my control a bit.
Was that at the stage we had already released? Was it singles? Did you do like an EP?
I did 3 singles and then a mini album. It was 7 songs, which technically is an album.
Yeah. How did they, sorry to interrupt, but how did they help you promote those singles through like social media or like radio? Like what are their strategies? Because a lot of people are listening are like, I think so, because this is how I think. It's like, what can a label do for you, and when is it the right fit? Yeah. It's kind of like a lot of the stuff I'm trying to get at.
Well, this is what Flo and I were talking about yesterday. What can a label do for you? There is a lot that they can do for you at a certain point. I think like when you're earlier, it makes more sense to do it yourself.
Yeah. Like
the stage I'm at right now, the stage I was at with the project, like, you know, I think a label can help give access to like better access to playlist pitching and stuff like that, which is important. But like, you don't necessarily need a label for that. You could have a really good manager that has relationships that can help you there.
I've even heard of like really good smaller distributors.
Yeah, smaller distributors, like they all have relationships there. It's like making sure you know the right person and who will vouch for you. Mm-hmm. That can get your music presented to the right people, basically. But I think like as a smaller artist, like, you know, marketing stuff you can do on your own, you and your manager. Like coming up with content pieces, do it on your own. It's okay, like, and I've had to learn this too, like, it's okay if things are not super clean and polished.
Mm-hmm.
Like people connect to that, especially as you're building it up. It's not like you're, you know, at like Drake's level or something and you're putting out like stuff that's a little, you know, shaky.
Yeah, I think that honestly, when I the cat likes you.
See the cat.
If you need to get him out, you can.
No, it's perfect, perfect.
But I think people tend to, at least I do. I come from a background of like a lot of rock music, punk rock, and how that's evolved. And so I don't necessarily like when things look perfectly clean. I want them to look natural. And so, for instance, there's things that we do with Celestial and our marketing and everything we're doing now that I'm really trying to find the moments that look fluid and like look natural of us performing, or like a lot of things I've learned. I won't go through the specifics of it, but you can kind of tell whether or not, like, even if I don't know the exact reason why I don't like something, I'm starting to learn more and more of like what I like and what I don't like, and it's never perfectly clean. And then when it comes to other artists, like other even ads and stuff,
right?
I always give it a time of day. You know, I'm an artist and I want to support the community, and if there's someone out there making amazing music and they want me to hear it for some reason, it comes across, like I do try to pay attention. And a lot of it, what I see is like, I don't know if you can call this a mistake, but super high production value at a very early stage. When you're releasing, like whether it's a marketing, it could be a music video, it could be just like little clips you do.
Yeah.
And when there's like paid actors in that, and you're just starting, and you have like maybe 100 listeners and stuff, like when that's the vibe, I immediately like disconnect to it a little bit, because I feel like this person maybe is not doing it for the right reasons, or thinks they know everything and everything about everything essentially, and it's not letting the art kind of breathe.
I feel that
in a sense.
Yeah, I think that, and from my own experience, you just got to learn through trial and error, like take some risks. And I'm very early at all of this too, but you know, like when I was with the label, I was so scared to try things out, because I was like, oh, I'm with the label, and like, what if this doesn't translate well? And like, these pictures are so nice, like everything has to be so, you know, buttoned up. And now that I'm not with them, I'm like, oh, like, this doesn't really matter that much. Like, the way I see it now is like, okay, you post a bad story or something, it's up for 24 hours. You post a reel, okay, they'll scroll by it and they'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
If it's that bad, you archive it.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't delete on TikTok, but like, you know, none of it really matters that much. Like, as long as you're promoting the music, then like you're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're trying different things in terms of the promotion. And hopefully, you know, the goal is like one of them will take off or something like that. And then, you know, it'll just put you into more rooms with different types of people.
Yep.
And then hopefully at that point, maybe you're connecting to another person that can help give you, you know, your vision from 3 years ago of where you saw yourself in 6 years, where you're like, oh, I want it to look like this. Well, bam, you've got the person that can get you to what you wanted at that time. That sort of thing. So, you know, like, that's how I'm seeing it. I'm like, we're just taking it step by step, trying different things out. Some things are just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many factors to it. It's like the time of the day that you post.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, there's just too many different things playing at once.
Would you say that your time with the label helped you in that regard? Like learning these kind of like little details about promotion, like time of posting, maybe like visual identity. Do you think you learned this there?
Yeah, I do think I learned a lot of that there. Like, the label had a creative crew essentially, and one of the people over there that I'm super close with now, she like helped me develop my identity as an artist from the ground up in a way. Like,
how was that process? Because I think that applies.
Much fun.
Yeah,
yes.
I think that applies to like every artist, and I think it's one of the keys.
It is one of the keys, and I think it's probably one of the more fun parts of the process.
How was that process? Was it like them asking a lot of questions and like helping you find the answer, or did they kind of give you options and you picked?
I am obsessed with like bookmarking things on Instagram and like going to art museums and stuff like that, just to like see what sparks something in me. So I would just take pictures of things out and bookmark things on Instagram, and like eventually I would look at all of it and be like, oh, there's a through line here that I seem to connect to. So I would take those pictures and create my own little mood board. I sent them to her, and she was like, okay, I'm getting it. And we'd talk on the phone. I'd be like, yeah, I really want something that feels like classic, but like a little sassy and like, you know, a little bit luxurious, but still like black and like maybe like a little gay, like all that stuff. And we just talked about it a lot. She'd send things back. We'd go back and forth. And then I was like, okay, for my name, like what if we worked off of my signature? Like if I wrote Lee Lewis out, like they, you know, like some of the classic singers from the past.
That's cool.
Yeah. So she like helped me make that into like my signature on everything. And now it's like a little bit different. It's just like double L's like on my hat.
Oh, that's your merch.
That's my merch.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So like all of that came from doing those mood boards with her at the beginning, like 3 years ago.
Nice.
And now it's like starting to come to life through merch. And like, you know, sometimes when I post pictures on my Instagram, I'll just put this on it in the back or something like that. Yep. So it's like, this will be something that is a part of my brand for as long as I want, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
man.
it's like the most fun part.
Exactly.
I think,
yeah.
Outside of making the music.
I will say, I think that's the most fun part when you have someone to bounce that idea off of and to go through that, especially if it's someone you're not inherently super, super close to from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it's a good learning way to get to know somebody.
It is.
Because they're going to ask the general questions that, you know, maybe your best friend or something isn't going to ask, because they're going to already have an idea of you versus that person doesn't. And it's a transition.
Yeah, she didn't know me really. Like we had met in San Francisco once and then kind of gone from there. But I mean, I recommend to everybody, I'm like, if you have a friend that knows somebody that's like a graphic designer or something like that, like they can likely help you, you know, at least start to understand or bring your brand to life.
Yeah. No, it's a major thing. So for Celestial, it's very space themed. Mm-hmm. And we just had merch. Actually, we got the pictures today. I can send them. I can show you afterwards.
Son.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. And a lot of it, there's a common theme of like an astronaut, essentially.
Makes sense with the name.
Yeah, yeah. And so we had this like little logo, and I love it. But I'm excited to see what the stages of Celestial become, because we're still so early.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing with time. Like I get a little fucked up over time sometimes, because you can make a record for a year, or you can go through these ebbs and flows of life which change how you look at your own project, how you want to be seen, and all this stuff. And I think now, as we've been doing it for a little while, like you just keep doing it and it naturally will progress.
That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah. But every now and then I'll think about it and I'm like, holy shit, like we've been doing this for like a year and a half. We just put an album out. Like, oh,
it takes time to make art.
And it's okay.
And it is totally okay. Like, you know, I think we're all in an age of like instant. Everything is instant. But like, that works with DoorDash and stuff like that. But it does not work with art.
Yep.
Like, you have to spend time on it. You also have to live. I think the process of like even building your brand depends on how much you are living. Like, you need to travel and stuff like that. You got to go see stuff, see different colors, like pull from the different experiences that you're having, you know? Like, if you stay at home all the time and you're on the internet, you're just pulling from what other people are kind of doing.
Yeah, dude.
But like being outside, meeting new types of people from different places, like you're from France, and like I'm sure you have a whole world of like inspiration that I don't have. Like, we have different things, and it's important to like meet different people so you can get those different perspectives, because it also like affects the stuff that you make.
1,000%. I think that's the beauty of being in a band. Like, also, it's very serendipitous in a sense. I always wanted to be in a band, like, and I was in a band in high school and stuff. But like, I wanted to be in like a real band, like where it's good musicians and everyone's kind of working towards a similar goal, and there's that constant unspoken, I don't want to call it battling, but like everyone leaves their impression on something, and if you're open to that, I think you let it be the band. Like, it's no longer my fucking music, it's the band's music.
It's y'all's collective piece.
Would you say you feel similar with like all the producers and all the team that you work with?
Absolutely. Yeah. I hate doing things alone.
Yeah.
Like, especially creating things, I'm like, no, you know? And like my foundation in music, especially doing opera, is collaborative, right? Like there's a lot of people on stage, or even if I did like art song with just the accompanist, you're like feeding off of each other to get the best product with the song. So I think like anything collaborative, as long as people are like being respectful
Yeah.
and listening to each other, it'll likely be, I think, better than by yourself.
100% agree. I think the casting is very important, though.
The casting is super important.
Casting is super important. I
Yeah.
mean, as you like, back to the point that you made earlier about this great producer,
Yeah.
but it's just like it
Yeah.
was a casting error for you,
It was a casting error. Like,
and that's fine. That's why you see like Brad Pitt not doing some movies that he.
yeah, you got to be
for.
selective to a certain extent. Like, I mean, don't say no to everybody. Like, take some
No.
chances.
I think it's just like identifying what you need
Mm-hmm.
for your project to come through in the best way possible,
Yeah.
and then finding people that can provide at least a piece of that, if not all of that.
Yeah. What you need, and like, also like knowing your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
Yeah, 100%.
I'm a good singer, but I'm not like the strongest songwriter. Like, I'm much newer to that. So I acknowledge that I usually need a co-writer, whether that's the producer or like another person, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I think music and art just forces you to be humble in a lot of ways.
Yeah, 100%.
So like, you're going to know
Every single day,
all the time.
baby.
Yeah. You're going to know pretty quickly in a session what your strength and weakness is.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Like,
played
agree.
guitar for 15 years, and every time our guitar player plugs in, I'm just like, yeah, dude, you do your fucking thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and you can add your stuff to it, of course. Like, both of you provide, but like, you know, sometimes it's just good to be like, okay, this person is really good at this. Let's let them do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Would,
the best.
would you
feeling,
guys
too.
say like, would you say it took some time for your ego to accept that? Or was it something that came natural for you? For you, it was supernatural.
I don't think I've had much of an ego in, at least in this stage of being a musician.
Mhm.
I got humbled like the fuck by opera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%.
So I just, after I left that, I was like, okay, you know, I thought I was really good at that. And I was winning competitions and like went to a very good school for it. But like, I still wasn't the best, even in that program. So after that, and then also like acknowledging that maybe I wasn't good enough to do the full thing, I was like, okay, this can be applied to anything else.
Yep. Yep.
Like, and that's why I was like, okay, now it's time to work with people that are better than me.
Yeah.
Like, I can let my voice be what's special because everybody's voice is unique to them. So let my voice and my stories that I'm telling be my contribution. The rest of the stuff, I'm like, I know I've got friends that are better at this other stuff than me. So let them do their thing and utilize what I have and like make the thing come together.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I also, when it comes to music, I've never had like I don't think, I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've never had like a major ego of like, I have to be the best or I am the best at anything. One thing I will say is like, I take a ton of pride in my songwriting. And so I typically, like if I know a song is, if I feel a song is very, very good that I've written, and most of the time I feel that way because I genuinely connect to it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is me. And I don't care if it's like, if you don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll make it sound cool, you know, but like the songwriting, like I typically hold that pretty close to me. But at the same time, I'm open to changes and showing me things.
Yeah.
But what I will say is when I know I'm not the best at something, say mixing, production, even like finding the right guitar tone for live performances, especially now I'm trying to get into that. And you've helped a ton with that. Fraz helped a bunch with that. Just knowing things I don't know, as I learn them, I do become very competitive with myself to get better at those things because I do want to know at least a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't confuse that with I want to be better than Flo at producing. He's the producer for Celestial.
You want to become more knowledgeable on it.
I want to help him.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes sense.
like if I can
You're
figure
a real
something.
entrepreneur. No, it's true. I think like a real entrepreneur, like they have the concept and they want to know enough about every aspect of the company or the project that they can actually direct people. Because when you're an entrepreneur and an artist is an entrepreneur, your main role is to provide the concept and then direct people to make it happen. You're a director.
Bring your vision to life.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing with that to me is finding the right team that believes in you.
Yeah.
And that has to be genuine. Like the one thing, I've said this a bunch in the podcast, but the most important thing for me with Celestial, because it was just Neil and I at first, kind of. You guys were around, but it wasn't the same thing as it is now. Like if someone's interested in playing with us, like I really need them to like it. You know, like if you don't, you don't have to connect with it the exact same that I do. But if you like it enough and we're friends, like genuinely outside of this, I think eventually you're going to see at least my passion in it to the point where you're going to feel passionate about it.
Yeah.
If that's not there, then there's just no point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have a bunch of money to pay people, so it's like, you know, we'll do what we can, but at the same time.
But even then, as he demonstrated, you know, you can get someone who's like technically like a top dog and pay them a lot of money, but
Exactly.
it might
I think
not work.
it's better to find someone that just like believes in it, that has some talent, you know, like I don't know, especially like more so with studio things. I think with live music, like, you know, you can work with session musicians that are really good and they can lock it down for you. But in the studio, when you're creating something, like I think the people that you involve, they need to get it. And like they need to know what your influences are and like where you want it to go.
Yeah.
Did you ever struggle knowing where you wanted to actually go with something?
That was actually my next question, bro. That's crazy.
Nice.
Absolutely. I feel like when I left college and started to dabble back into music, I don't know, I wanted to do this stuff kind of like, you know, the artist Jacob Banks?
Yep.
I probably seen him, but I don't remember.
He's a UK soul guy. I wanted to do stuff like that, but like I was just like, I like this music. But just because you like the music doesn't mean that like that's necessarily the music that you're supposed to do. Like just because you're influenced by all these things does not mean that those all need to apply to what you're making.
Yep. 100%.
You can just be a listener and do that like regular people, and then also make your music that fits you the right way. You know, you don't
and
have
I
to
think
do it
on
all.
that point, like there's no like useless knowledge. So I think like you being a very enthusiast listener of one form of music, even if you don't apply it directly to your music, it for sure
it's a
remains in your
Totally.
brain as it's working.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. But like, you know, let's say I'm listening to rap. I don't have to rap on my tracks.
Yeah.
Like
But there
I can
might be
but
some
there's
cool
stuff
stuff
in it that I can like pull from it.
Exactly.
So I think like now after just living and like making music, I think you got to make some stuff to find what you actually want to really do.
Yep.
You know, like now I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. And now I think I found avenues where I can pull from my classical background as well. And like it works a little more seamless than maybe it did before.
Yeah. I really relate to the You Are Not the Artist, because like a lot of times it'll be similar. Like for me, I love this band, the Front Bottoms, and I love the lead singer because he sings very like unapologetically, like loud, and he's in tune. But like, there's a song where he's like, "You are water 12 feet." Dude, he sings it like just so unapologetic. And I was like, I want like a little bit of that in Celestial. Like, and in our last show, I sang Other Worlds, and I went up on 2 notes that I wish I like watched back the video. And I'm like, motherfucker, why did I do that? Like, I'm not that guy. But it's influenced other ways. Has influence, but like just same exact thing. It's like I don't need to sing like that. I can sing like John. You know, like that was a really
sing like yourself, but like you can let your influences find their way in.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like as long as you're not like, at least the way I see it is like, as long as I'm not copying, especially a person that's alive, then like,
especially a person,
you know, I'm like if it's like my favorite singer is Donny Hathaway.
Okay.
So I do find myself copying some things that he does unintentionally, but I'm like, you know, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not alone on that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course you're not. And
Yeah.
I think everyone does it.
Everybody does it.
If you think, like, for example, as like an instrumentalist,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best ways to learn is to like transcribe songs that you like. So you just like literally, or I mean, it's the same for a singer. You just like,
Yeah. You just practice what other
yeah.
people do.
I love this song. Let me learn it.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, then it becomes part of your repertoire. And then you, I think creativity is like remixing things.
Yeah, it's like an
You know what I mean?
accumulation.
It's like, it's not creating something new necessarily. It's like
It's all
blending
pulling from
7
each
little
other.
things together. That
Yes.
that makes something new.
It makes it new and unique when you just pull from,
Exactly.
and it's natural too, like you said.
I mean,
Like,
you think of like Afrobeat in the 70s, like these cats in Nigeria, they just listen to jazz all day. But then you hear like half of them are playing straight jazz on the record, but the other half is playing like straight traditional African music, and it became Afrobeat.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
I mean, I'm like simplifying a lot.
no,
but
but,
it-
you're
that's-
right.
that's
It's pulling
pretty
from
much
the backgrounds.
Exactly what happened. It's like a fusion of
Yeah.
two things, which is interesting in LA. We have like so many like Mexican,
Yeah.
Japanese fusion
There's
restaurants.
so much
like
fusion.
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy fusions like that.
Yeah. No, it's real.
And I think that's creativity. And that's very interesting. I think one thing that you said that is important is like letting, I mean, in this whole conversation between the two of you, one thing that I think is a key takeaway for me is like letting things happen. Like there's like a conscious part of like doing your research, finding
Yeah.
what you like, finding a vision. But then also there's an important part that I think both of you are very good at, actually. Because I work with both of you, so I can tell in my experience of like letting the influences come in your music, not like forcing it like, oh, I want to do like a Linkin Park / Green Day / Beyonce mashup. You know, it's just like it comes because you listen to that, and at some point you're like, oh, I could do that. Oh, that kind of
Yep.
sounds like that. Oh yeah, but that's cool with, you know, I think you're very
Yeah.
good at connecting the dots.
Thanks.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I love Flo's compliments.
Yeah. It's a lovely compliment, Flo.
Yeah, it really
You're
is.
welcome. You're welcome.
No, yeah, but you're right. Like, just let it happen.
I think it's important. Yeah.
I was in the studio maybe a couple weeks ago, something like that, and we were like going into. We were like, okay, we are gonna make a song like a Portishead inspired song. I love Portishead. Like, that's a space that I would love to play around with, like trip hop. We went into it, and like he started playing stuff, and it went into like almost like a Sam Cooke
Oh,
Damn.
soul type of direction. And I was still like, this still feels like me. Like, it's not what we set out to do, but like, this is still one of the better songs that I've written because it's still soul. That's the genre that I connect to the most. That's where I want to be. Like, Portishead is still soul. It's soul and trip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just went in a different direction and like followed the flow of the room. Like, I'm like, you don't have to fight it all the time.
Yep. 100%.
We'll get a Portishead track when the time is right.
Yeah.
You know, like when we're in a session and that's just what we make.
Yep.
You know, that's actually beautiful. I'm so happy you said that because one thing in the past that I struggled with was like, oh, I want to have a project like this and I want to have a project like this.
Yep.
But I put everything into Celestial because it's like the thing I like the most. And it's reassuring to hear that because I am constantly influenced. Like when I listen to music, I don't know, like you made a good point earlier about like just be a listener like a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something I think a lot of artists struggle with. I fortunately do have a lot of artists I listen to where I'm just a listener and I'm not trying to emulate them at all, even in genres that are pretty close to what Celestial is doing. But what's weird is I notice that I dive into an artist and I basically only listen to that artist for like 2 weeks or maybe a month. And it defines like eras in my life. Like I was listening to this band the other day called Honey, Hunny, and they were the first band I saw live when I moved to LA. And it was such a happy time. When I listened to it, it like fucked me up. I was just like, oh my God, like I was so carefree back then. Like this
Yeah, yeah.
shit. And it almost
Yeah.
made me nostalgic in a way. But I'm confident that I've recognized like the pattern of I'll get really into a certain type of music and then weeks will go by and I'll listen to something else. But then I'll write something that I can tell, oh, this was kind of a little bit. And what's funny, I was listening to a bunch of Sublime and Neil and I were producing a song the other day, like one I'd written on acoustic. And there's like a tiny 2% touch of Sublime guitar playing in there. But I didn't force it. It was just like letting that pass through. And I think that comes from like trusting your subconscious as an artist. Like I never fear that I'm like not going to be able to write music. It's just if I can't write a song that day, it's like, okay, whatever. You know, like I know tomorrow I can or the next day or whatever because I just trust my subconscious. I think music and art is so, it's so rooted in like the layer beneath where you're thinking. And that's why when I write a song, this is kind of my question to you. It's like, so when I write a song, I'm not trying to write a song necessarily about something. It just kind of, I let it come out and it turns into whatever that is. And thankfully, most of the time, it does match the mood and everything. So when you're writing, because you're saying, oh, I'm not the best writer, you know, are you looking to accomplish a certain goal, a certain topic? Are you setting that preemptively or just letting it kind of go?
I kind of like have a very long, I'm actively writing down song names, like song titles that I connect to. Like if I think of something, I'll just write it down in my notepad on my phone. And then like we'll start playing stuff in the studio. I'm like, what do you want to write about? Sometimes, some 75% of the time, I will just pull from one of those and be like, this title feels like this sound. We may not end on that title.
Of course.
But like it'll put me in a place where I can start. And then I'll just let the rest happen. Like
that's cool.
The song we did a couple of weeks ago, they were like, what do you want to write about? And I was like, yeah, like I've been thinking about these words, paper cuts. And they're like, oh, we really like that as like a title. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But like, I was like, let me explain it. So we explained it. That's not the song title we ended up on. We didn't even use those words at all. The song is called Your Love Is What I'm Dying From. So I obviously felt that those lyrics or those two words connected to what we were making sonically. And whatever brought me to write down that song title was something that I felt like I needed to express in the room. So that seems to be like the best way for me to get to a complete song. It's like I need like a little start thing like that. I don't need to talk about specifically what I'm experiencing that day.
But there's like a vibe you connect to because you're kind of reaching in. Like it's similar in a sense to kind of what I was saying, but a bit more direct where, you know, you get these impressions throughout your life, whether a couple weeks, whatever, and you're impacted by something, and that translates to some sort of general topic or poetic way of describing that. Yeah. And so that's rooted in something. Yeah. And so then when you have the opportunity to let that flow, it's like it's already there.
Yeah, it's kind of like those words are kind of like the start of a journal for me. And when either I'm at home by myself, I can like expand on it, or when I go into the studio, like I'm like, okay, I'm feeling connected to this, and the song sounds like it connects to that as well. Mm-hmm. You know, so
do you journal a lot, like write in general, or is it mostly music?
I do journal a lot. I usually use it primarily for like because my therapist tells me that it would help. So
no, same dude. Journaling is really powerful.
That's kind of the main thing, but like I think between that and reading as well.
Oh my God.
Like this, I mean, writers for novels and whatnot use words in a different way than everybody else. And sometimes I'll read things and like they'll just say something in such a unique way. And obviously I'm like, I'm not going to copy it, but it makes me think about writing in a different way as well.
I think reading is one of the most powerful things in the world that I just forgot about for a while. Yeah. Like truly, I was just like, no, I can listen to Audible, you know, but then I started getting real deep into it where like I would set a vibe. So I love like fantasy, not necessarily fantasy, but like medieval specifically. And there's this book I was reading called Pillars of the Earth. Okay. It's about this dude who is like basically like a mason, and it's just like hard times after hard times after hard times. It's this cool, like not Game of Thronesy, but kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I would like literally sit in my living room and put on like old timey like medieval like music, just like at like the perfect volume where I can barely hear it, and like read this book, and it was like therapy. Yeah. And I get so much out of that. Like really diving into a book for your brain, I think is so healthy and therapeutic. Like people, they get stressed, they just get on social media. It's like, I promise you.
And it makes it worse.
Yeah, it does. It really, and it builds up over time. Like I promise you, if you sit down with a book, it could be, read The Alchemist. Like The Alchemist is a super short book for those listening. And it's like, it'll a lot of people have read it. It's a super famous book, but it's like an easy read. Like start with something like that and just dive into something like that, and you will feel so much better going to bed that night.
Yeah, it's also so much better on your eyes.
Oh yeah.
I needed to hear that today, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we gotta read some books sometimes before we go to sleep.
Yeah. It's
also,
very
like it impacts your sleep, but also like I do think it influences your writing a bit.
Yes.
100%.
You know, like they just say things in a different way, and I don't know, they're storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, I
just
think
not as compact as we are.
Yeah, and it's long-form emotional impact versus short-term emotional impact. Short-term emotional impact is like, my dog got sick. These were his last days on social media. And you're like, fuck, man. Like,
they're
that
telling you
sucks.
about all the last days throughout the book.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry, Flo. I didn't mean to interrupt. I want to get that point.
No, I think I was going to ask, like, do you feel like probably, I mean, I never wrote a book, but from what I know, it's a pretty long process. And I would imagine people revise things, so they think about what they're saying a lot.
Yeah.
In contrast to social media, that is a much more spontaneous like form of communication. That's probably also where it comes from. And it's funny because, kind of sidetracking, but these days I've been thinking about this a lot. Hi, Ellie. I've been thinking about this a lot because for a while I was very stuck with the like blank page syndrome for my own project, that I couldn't write tunes. Because I don't write songs, but I write tunes, right? Like melodies, and then we develop them. And I was mega stuck. And the way I unstuck myself was by doing very spontaneous art. Just like go to the studio, improvise, boom. That's the vibe.
That's great.
It was sick. But these days, I feel like, okay, I really feel like I'm ready, and I really crave diving very deep into some subjects. Like going much more in depth. And it's funny because you guys were talking about like writing and song and stuff, and I wanted to ask, do you guys sometime have like the concept of a song or a project, and then you struggle to like make it come to life in a way?
Yeah, I definitely have those struggles sometimes. Like, I think for me, it's very easy to write about sex and romance and heartbreak and stuff like that. But when I want to write about experiences that are a little bit maybe less accessible to the masses, it can be quite difficult. Like if I want to write music about my experience as a black person or as a gay guy, that's much more difficult to like... Everybody experiences romance and heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
But like those deeper experiences that are like tied to your skin color and like your background and where you come from and things like that, those are much harder to convey, I think.
Do you feel that your best songs, do they relate to that because it's deeper within you? Or do you feel you maybe haven't gotten there yet and it's something that's going to come out eventually?
I'm still working on it. I think I'm getting closer to it. I think for me, like, there's a lot of crossover between some of those things. Like, like I've dated white men, so I can connect some things about race to dating as well. And I think that's like, at least where my head's at right now, is the right avenue for me to not only process those experiences, like the pains and all that stuff, but like also to put it into music in a way that feels safe to me and like comfortable. Like I've written a lot about the heartbreak and things like that. So kind of tying those topics into...
I see.
Yeah, because and that is real to my experience with those situations. But I think that is like
cool.
My step towards being able to hopefully someday write a project just about being a black person.
Yeah.
But like I have to remind myself that I'm early into this journey of songwriting, and like the music I'm making today is much better than the stuff I was making before. And that's...
Do you feel like you reserve it like a nice bottle of champagne for like when you're ready for like a great occasion?
You said, I reserve one?
No, do you reserve like that kind of very deep and like layered project for like a moment where you will feel really ready, like a great occasion.
I think like it has to be with topics like that, race, sexuality. Like when I'm like, I'm gonna make a project about this, about my experience and like my community's experience, right? I think I need to be ready as a writer to write about it, because at that point it's not just about me and my experience with this other person. It's about my experience and other people's experience that they can relate to, like me. And I feel like there's a little bit of a pressure there to, you know, you're not speaking for other people, but you're speaking on a shared experience.
And it's a very deep, heavy subject. And so you want to represent it in a way where you feel like, I don't want to say legitimate because that's not the right word, but like you feel like you're representing it in the right way.
Yeah, I think it just needs to be represented in the right way. And also like, I need to be able to express it in the more tragic parts and like the painful parts, but also the joys, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think some of that just comes with practice as a songwriter, but also life experience. Like the more, especially with those topics, the more experience that I have, I'm like, it'll help me make that project the way that I think it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting you say that because like growing up, I wrote a ton of songs about like breakups. It was like pop punk breakup songs and like some more angry stuff here and there. And then folk, I dove a little bit deeper into like the tragedies of life, where like the big concept for me was like I got to an age like around like 24, which in context seems pretty young. Like I definitely don't know everything. I didn't know everything at that point. But for me, something I really related to was like, wow, I'm so lucky. But at the same time, I've been through a lot, and how fucking tragic life can be for some people, especially people you grew up with and like people you consider brothers and like sisters. And watching the way like life is not fair and talking a bit more about those tragedies. And then with Celestial, it became much more about like, and this is oversimplifying it, but like life and death in a way, like the in-between, you know, like what is consciousness and stuff. And the songs still have like, it's like you said, like I'm connecting it to maybe a love song.
Yeah.
Or like whatever, like a happy song, sad song, whatever.
Right.
But there's this underlying like, well, the album's called Hope, our first album, but it's like the in-between of consciousness in a way at a deepest level with Celestial is. And I feel like that I never could have written songs like what we're doing with Celestial. Even now, like we have a song coming out in a couple of weeks, like called Distance.
Yep.
And I never could have written something like that when I was writing songs for like 3-4 years, or when I was like 18.
It's harder to make songs that hit something deeper than the surface level. Like that, you know, I mean, the way I think about it is like, okay, you go to a party, right? People, the first thing they ask you is like, who are you dating? Are you dating anybody? Like, how's it going? Right?
Yeah.
You don't get into the harder shit until you have some more alcohol in you. or some pot or something like that, you know? So like, I feel like that reflects in music as well. Like it just takes a little bit more work to really make those songs that are about those other topics. And there's a pressure on everybody, I think, to make them really good.
But do you think people are, like, as listeners, those deeper topics, do you think it's easier to, I hate to use the word sell, but to, like, connect to listeners with those deeper topics? Or, because it's kind of for you at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you about to say something, Flo? You go first.
Just look at the top 10.
I know. Well, that's also business. Like, that's also...
No, I know. But I mean, I will say, like, just like a quick parenthesis, because I don't think it's easier to sell or to make people connect with. I think it's harder because, as you said, I think a mediocre love song can be enjoyed way easier than a mediocre, like, deep intellectual song.
Yeah.
I would say. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm super wrong.
No, I totally agree. I think, too, like, you know, melody is most important, right? Mm-hmm. I think you can match some average lyrics or whatever with a strong melody if the lyrics are about love or heartbreak, right? Mm-hmm. But if you are like, you can have a bomb melody and like some mediocre lyrics about race or something, and it's not going to hit.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to connect.
Good point. That's a really good
They're
point.
going to see right through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, why didn't you just like put some different lyrics to this song? Like you need to put some heart into it if you're going to talk about something deeper.
Yep. And that whole rings truest, I think. Well, I can't say truest, but the example in my life that I've seen that work really well is like really good rap music that was like underground when they went like, I don't know, I grew up, a bunch of people were obsessed with like underground rap at the time, and like Idea, for instance, like the dude was a troubled person, and like his beats were so insane sounding, and so it created this like perfect thing. But then I'll hear like someone just starting to rap over like a YouTube beat that's a little bit more generic, and they'll say the same kind of things, but I'm just like, bro, like come on, like you're in the suburbs, like whatever, like life's just this for you, you know.
No, when you talk about real shit and real stuff, like you have to give it more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those are harder things for people to talk about in general.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to, I think the listener expects, and rightfully so, in my opinion, expects passion and like, you know, some finesse and like whatnot to accompany it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do have a question, a total side tangent, but you mentioned earlier, and I really want to like learn about this. What was your experience like at Spotify when you worked there?
Yeah, Spotify was honestly, I had a lot of fun. I also, you know, I can't say everything.
Sure. Yeah.
I got my severance, but still, like, you know, I think it was it was conflicting at many times, like to be an artist actively releasing my first project. Honestly, I had signed when I was at Vans, then moved to Spotify, started the release process basically. To be there as an artist was difficult at times because I'm like, you know, I know how the pay works. I don't love that for as artists, you know. And then as you know, as we've seen recently, like some of Daniel Ek's investments.
That's an odd one, dude. But I
Yeah.
saw that, I was like, what? Like,
Yeah,
sure, you can do what you want,
it's
but
bad.
that's
you know?
fucked up.
I think outright it's bad. I think it was tricky at times. Like I loved working there. I always wanted to work there. Like,
of course.
from the business side of me, like Justin, I wanted to work at Spotify. I had applied like 8 times since I was in college or something like that. Finally got a job there. It was a dream job, and I had a lot of fun. It paid well, you know, benefits and all that stuff, but it was tricky to be there, getting paid well as Justin, getting these benefits and stuff, while, you know, artists like me at my size were struggling and whatnot. So that was very hard. And it was also difficult to go to work from 9 to 6 and then go to these shows, right? And like see these other artists getting what I wanted.
Oh my God, yeah.
And then also to go to work from 9 to 6 and then have to go to the studio afterward because I can't go in the daytime.
I totally get that. That's my life. Like
Yeah.
I have a 8 to 5, and I'm super committed to it. I put everything into it because it's my lifeline.
Yes, it's your
You know
lifeline.
what I mean? Yeah.
I think I relate to all artists that do it because I did it forever. But it is really difficult to go to work every day of the week and then to go to the studio after work.
Yep.
Like, your brain is tired.
Yeah.
Your body's tired. Your social battery is drained. And then you have to go back into another environment and bring it back on. That's
Yeah.
tough.
And you think you're gonna get used to it, and then like a year goes by, and you're like,
No,
ah, damn.
it's just it's very difficult. But you know what I always say to people about Spotify is like, yes, I got laid off, which sucked. But that's how the corporate world goes.
It's gonna happen to everyone who has a corporate job.
Yeah,
at
I
some
was
point.
like, I didn't feel really anything about it. Really, I wasn't mad at anybody. But I think like I understand why artists don't like the company. I get it, but I will say that the people in the building, I'm not talking about like the execs,
of course.
but like the actual people working on artist and label relations and like editorial and all that stuff, the worker bees basically, they're so good at their jobs. Like I had to step my shit up big time when I went in there. I was like, these people are like really passionate about music
Oh.
and like they really want artists to succeed. Just like the artists, they are in a system that is built for the people at top. So like I'm always like, and that's why I'm still friends with so many people over there, because I'm like, they love music. They go to the shows voluntarily. They ask for tickets. They want to see who the new artists are. They want artists to break. They're just a part of a larger system that is unfavorable to smaller and independent artists.
I mean, there's a couple things in that. It's like one thing I've been thinking about lately when I get frustrated about, you have certain growth goals, and it doesn't bother me too much because I've humbled myself in a lot of ways to not expect everything all at once. I just don't. I want there to be a journey. You know what I mean? But for folks at Spotify, one, I think it's amazing that they love music. That's like a really good sign. But for like the editorial stuff, did they actually like listen to every song that gets pitched to editorials?
I don't know for sure because I'm not on the editorial team, or I wasn't. Okay. But they do listen to as much as they possibly can. Like, I mean, I would be in the office and some of them would be there extremely late just listening to music.
Oh, that's cool.
All day, all night. Like, they go to shows. They're not just listening to the major artists. Like, they want to be like, oh, I broke that person on this playlist. You know, that sort of thing. Like, and I know I said that they love music, but like realistically, like they're obsessed with music.
Yeah.
Like the whole team, not just editorial, but like artist and label relations as well. Like,
that's so good to hear.
Obsessed with music. Like, I mean, it's all we talked about every day for the entire year. I was there for like 2-ish years, something like that. And it was just music all day, every day with them.
That's
like,
so cool.
We would take we do these I don't know, not company retreats, but people would come to the LA office and we literally just brainstorm like, how do we highlight this group? Like, what's our focus for music right now? And like, this is who's popping off right now, but this is like an area of music that we really see that's blowing up, like there's just so many things to do with music. And everybody in that building was, especially at that level, was extremely passionate about it.
Yeah, I genuinely don't have any hate for Spotify. Other than, the pay sucks, but like at the end of the day, like I don't know. I'm not a finance guy. I don't know how that works. But what I've started thinking recently is like, you need fans. Like if you have 20 fans,
you need the fans.
Like you need fans.
That's why I keep saying, I'm like, build it up, and I'm practicing this too. Like, build it up from the ground. And everybody else will start coming. Like, they'll start coming. But, like, you build up the fan base, you build out your brand, and, like, it starts to come to life. And, like, you find your voice, especially on social media.
Yeah.
The rest will start coming out to you, especially if the music is good. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all just going to start coming your way. And then, you'll start getting some more looks from Apple Music and from all these cool, I don't know, press features and outlets and stuff like that. And like Spotify will start asking you to do like, oh, we want you to do like Fresh Finds Live or something like that. Like, but I think a lot of artists don't realize how many artists are putting out music.
Oh, it's insane.
It's an insane number. Like, there's a lot of people on the planet that want to make music.
Feels like everybody.
Everybody needs to humble themselves a bit and acknowledge that, like, there's a lot of people chasing the same dream as you. So find your voice, express it the way that feels best to you, take some risk, and make good music. I do think it helps, like, if you're in regions or markets that, a lot of these power players are in. Like,
that's what I was going to say, because I think I'll talk about, like, what I know best, which is, like, kind of like the jazz environment. And you can see a lot of them is, like, jazz UK, Afro jazz. Like the community aspect is not to be neglected, I think.
It's a big deal.
It's a really big deal.
Yeah. Like,
I really think it is.
And we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, your network is your greatest strength, without question. Like, I came into that label deal with little to no network, came out of it with a whole team outside of like a distributor, basically.
Yeah.
And, you keep getting closer to people. one of them is going to pop off too. And like, you know, if they're good people, they're likely going to try to help you out in some way.
That's actually a major reason why I wanted to start this podcast, is like building a community.
Yeah.
It's hilarious how many people like will ask and they're just interested. I mean, you, for instance, like thank you so much for coming on. But like,
Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. But like, I love this, and there's so many music nerds out there, and like more and more I'm realizing people actually enjoy listening to it because we're all on the same journey, and also people who have no connection to music listen.
Yeah.
But like, I love the concept of building a community, supporting friends at shows. I don't care if you have no listeners. You know, in fact, at this point, it's like really fun to watch people like develop and become who they're going to be. And I'm so excited to like have this grow with that.
Yeah.
Like it's really important because
No,
LA is very separate. You know what I mean? The LA is very like siloed.
Yes.
In certain ways, and sometimes there could be the biggest scene and you have no idea it exists.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's a massive city. There's a lot of people here, and some people can be very protective of their network and like who they're working with. But like, the moment you start to find the right people that you connect with, like it just opens up vastly, and you start working with, like, I started working with you. I met Warren through you. You know, I've now met you, and like I met you through Arthur.
Arthur, yeah.
I met Arthur through Henry.
Yeah.
Like it just goes on and on and on. And like, if you're just a cool person and like, you know, you make stuff that you rock with and you're excited to share, like that's kind of it, really,
Yep.
you know? And you go into these sessions and like, you at least show up with like a little bit of confidence and like try,
Yeah.
you know? I feel like that's all it really is. You just keep meeting people, you know? And then maybe one of the musicians in the room knows like a cool graphic designer or something.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I've been looking for that. It's like, boom, you got that connect right there. They'll help you out there. You know, they know a bunch of musicians that can play live. Now you got your band.
Yep.
It's all through somebody that you knew. That's why I keep saying, I'm like, at this age, I don't think you need a label. Like at this size of an artist, like I don't think you need it. I think you just need to like make music, take some risk, and build your network.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into the conversations where you have leverage in those conversations with labels.
Yeah,
I didn't have
exactly.
leverage when I came into the picture. Like, you know, I was much lower than where they were. Like they could provide more for me at the time, but like. At some point, you'll be able to come into the conversations with leverage, and then you'll get the deal that is better suited for you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Preach, man.
yeah,
I think
that's how I see it now. After like going through getting dropped from a label, while also I got dropped from the label 2 months after I got laid off at Spotify.
Ooh.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, so you know,
Whoa.
it hit all at once basically, and I was like, okay. I've seen the highs and lows of the business side in a way, and I've seen the highs and lows as an artist with a label.
Yep.
It's like you'll be okay.
Well, I'm really happy you're continuing to do this. You're an awesome person.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you coming on. I think you have a lot to say, and it's a lot of good things that I really enjoyed hearing, and you validated a lot of the things that I sort of thought about, but you also put it into a very realistic picture that I think a lot of people lose track of when you're just being influenced by Instagram reels telling you like fuck a label, blah 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 blah, or whatever, like there or bad news about Spotify or whatever. I think you painted a very realistic picture of what the world really looks like, and it gives me a lot of hope. And you know, I'm sure we'll all find success in that. But
Yeah.
genuinely, thank you for doing this, man.
No, thank you for having me. Like, to anybody listening, like you can do this.
You can.
Like, you know, make good music and, you know, meet great people. Honestly, like the rest will honestly come to your way, and take those risks. I think
Yep.
that's the biggest piece that I've learned from my time at Spotify and with the label. Like, just try it out.
Hell yeah.
Especially with the social media stuff. Like, just try it out.
Yeah.
Like, you can always delete it.
You can always delete it.
You can always delete it. I'm about to post something tomorrow, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to hit, but Maybe it will.
Yeah, I
See
think
you
that's
guys
awesome.
tomorrow
Yeah, see
Yeah,
you tomorrow.
to find out.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, real
Fingers
quick,
crossed.
before we end, I want to give you any like shout out your Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Everything is under Lee X Lewis.
Okay.
So that's all of it. And then on Spotify and Apple Music, all that stuff is just Lee Lewis. And I've got some new songs coming out soon. September 17th, I think, will be the first song of this next
Era.
era.
Hell yeah, you said
Yeah.
it here.
Yeah.
It's in
Hold me to
stone.
it, please. I can't keep pushing.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Flo?
Amazing. Flo, what's going on? There's one EP, first single coming out August 14th with Aristotle Jones. It's gonna
Hell
be
yeah.
a cool like collab between like kind of jazz and hip hop.
And Aristotle is going to be on Thursday night.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
or
cool.
Friday night.
The 10th, whatever day that is.
Oh, all right, gotta figure that out. all good. Because the 10th, I'm actually finishing recording my album that will come out in October.
Hell
the
yeah.
FM Experiment that I'm very excited about. Because as I said, it's the first time in a while that I push myself to dive into a subject much deeper and like have a concept, have a message for the album, and try to really push, like dig deep into it. So I'm excited about that. I just released a single that I produced with this amazing singer from Vancouver named Glisha. The single is called
GLISHA?
Yeah, exactly. The single is called Coexisting. It's really a great song. I'm very proud of it. And we have an EP coming out September 18th. It's going to be a busy couple months.
We'll celebrate each other.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, as you said, there's like any single day, there's music releasing. So
so much music coming out every day.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So yeah, man, like a lot of great music coming. I think we have like a lot of new stuff to work on with Celestial.
Yep.
It's exciting times, man. Exciting times.
Very, very. So on the Celestial side of things, we have a show June 21st.
Oh.
I will post the details because it's with...
It's July 21st, though.
Did I say July?
You said June.
Dude,
But
what-
it's okay.
I think something's wrong with my brain.
It's like the fifth time.
No,
in a
we
row
don't.
he
We
does
don't
it.
know what month we're on anymore.
Good Lord, dude. Oh my God, though. We got to stop with that. I've done that so many times. So yeah, July 21st, it's in West Hollywood. I will post it on our Instagram, the details, but it's a free show. So come and it's gonna be an hour of music. So Celestial play for an hour or so. And then it's gonna be 2 hours of short films. So it's gonna be a really cool UCLA short film festival type thing. And actually talk to Pedro about it. It's gonna be really, really cool.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot going on with that, which is very exciting.
Nice.
And we have
New
our
single.
song "Distance," our new single, coming out July 16th.
Okay.
That's like 9 days from
Yeah,
now.
it's coming up.
Hell
Yeah. And then we have a show in August 16th. I'm like so careful about it now. August 16th, we're playing Licorice Pizza with Lino X Ren, who was on I think the previously released episode.
Sick.
And then Madison MADSN will also be playing that show. And yeah, that's all I want to say for now. So
Exciting times.
a living fuckload of shit going on,
Look at
which
that.
is heaven to us. So appreciate y'all for listening. Thank you again so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
You're
me.
awesome. And all right, peace,
Au
everybody.
revoir.
Bye.
Love ya.